So finally the pieces for the solar panel arrived. So these are going to be connecting all 4 panels in parallel because that's going to give me the minimum amount of cabling required. And then these are cable tie mounts, so these will go with those. And I've replaced the standard sticky stuff on the back with this 3M VHB. Very, very sticky. Also waterproof, etc. So let's get this sorted. Start changing some cable lengths and getting these all glued up there. So back in a bit. So this is what I'm changing. So these are just all connected up in parallel at the moment, just for testing. But they're all going to get changed now, so that they use those central connectors running down the middle. So yeah, let's get changing some of those connectors. So getting a little bit further on with the build. This is the battery box. So temporary battery in the bottom there. Just a couple of AGM cells, sorry, AGM batteries. That's the DC-DC charger over there, not connected to the starting battery yet, but it is connected to the solar panels, which is a nice dull day, so we're not producing anything, or very little, half an amp, quarter of an amp. There's the inverter that's going to go in there. Nice inverter this actually, because it comes with a nice little remote control, which if I just switch this on, displays battery voltage and the amount of watts being used and the AC voltage and the state of the battery. So that's rather nice, and that'll sit up on the side panel here somewhere. And we can also switch the display off but still leave the whole thing on, so at night time you can disable it and switch it off. So yeah, nice 2000 watt continuous with a peak load of 4000. Just if it's starting up an AC or whatever, just gives you that extra little bit of capacity. So the next stage will be, this is going to have a slatted top, and the panel at the front here is going to pull out with on the slats, and then whatever bed arrangement goes in on the rest of it. Bit of a mess at the moment. So the bed's going to come from the back over here. It would be a chair which will turn into a bed. Haven't really found one yet that suits my needs, but we will do. But what that'll allow us to do is the support at the back here where the feet will be is adjustable, so I can pull that in and pull that out as needed to match whatever bed is required. So yeah, that's where we're progressing to. So the next step is to build the slatted tops and the front, so that we've still got plenty of access to the box whilst I build the rest of it in there. There'll be a lithium battery in there, and then consumer panel and some fuses, which are all going to be located on the back wall there. Okay, next step will be a bit more construction. Okay, so you might be able to see, but one of the flexible panels had failed. Rather silly of me, I didn't test them before I installed them. Anyway, went back to the supplier from AliExpress, no problem. Sent them a video of it not actually producing anything, and they sent me another one as a replacement. So I've ripped off the old one. What I would say is that 4 lines of Sikaflex, you'll never get these off in a hurry. So yes, I'm quite comfortable that that's secured them well. What I have done is on the leading edges, I've just put a strip of butyl rubber tape just to stop them from getting water too much underneath. I have left some gaps around so that any water that does get underneath there will evaporate. I don't think that's too critical, so they are completely waterproof, of course. So now I've just got to sort out the wiring. So those are going to be the connectors, four-way connectors, are stuck in the middle. So I'm just going to Sikaflex those down and some tape over the top to secure them. And then I'm going to run the cables down and work out how we're going to cope with this lifting roof. So that's the project for now. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so the solar panel wiring is all on the roof now, just waiting for it to harden off before I do the next set of connections, so nothing moves. And I just took a quick look at the door because it was flapping around and the screws were very loose, but they wouldn't tighten up. So you can see what I've just found. So I'm going to go and get myself another piece of wood, and we'll repair this rather rotten door. But welcome to a motorhome that's 42 years old. Not unexpected. Anyway, easy fix. So we'll get on to get that done. Okay, so that's a new piece of wood just put in there. So, and it's glued with PVA at the top end there, onto weatherwood, and then I've used Sikaflex on both sides of it to secure it to the aluminium panels. So I just need to put my piece back on there and we should be good to go. And then I think I'm going to do the bottom part another day because I'm sure that's gone as well. So but this is the part that's got the hinge on it, so this is more important to secure it so we can actually shut the door tonight. Okay, onwards and upwards. Okay, so that's the solar panels installed now. All coming into that central connector. Everything's strapped down. It isn't a fast van, so I'm not too worried about aerodynamics. Just finishing off this front edge, and of course with this pop top, I'm just going to work out how this is going to drop down. So I may need to do some reinforcement there just to make sure that that is going to go up and down without snagging on anything. But we'll see how it goes. But that's 4 100 watt panels, seem to produce about 65 watts each in sunshine, so they do heat up a little bit because they're flexibles, but not a lot of choice upon this roof because of the height restriction. But anyway, we'll crack on and see what this looks like when it drops. Okay, so that's all installed now, and you can see that the cables do tend to stick up a little bit as the roof is dropped down. So I've put some support in there, and I'm going to get some white cable wrap to disguise it, and then I've got an idea as to how we're going to keep that tension so that it lies down against the roof. So that's something to worry about later. And then I do tend to jump backwards and forwards between little projects. But one of the things I wanted to do was put a reversing camera in, because we need them. And in the traffic one, there is a cigarette lighter. Well, we don't smoke, so I'm going to reuse the space for that. And then I'm going to modify the existing housing to take this top piece off, which is going to fit in here, and it'll do a nice little install for that little very, very cheap AliExpress reversing camera. I think it cost me €8. So we'll see what quality's like, but I'm sure it'll do the job that's required of it. Okay, so I managed to finish off the top of the battery box. I'm not going to show you too closely because I'm not exactly impressed by the quality of some of my work, so I may well redo that, but you get the idea of what it's going to be like. There's a similar box going to be sitting down in this corner here, which is going to have the same layout to pull out an extension. I'm going to use slightly wider wood for that because one of the problems is that you need 2 screws in there to stop the whole thing from twisting, and that one was made with just one, so I'll have to rethink that bit. And then what will happen is I found a folding chair on Temu, I think, which has a backrest which is adjustable, but then the whole thing just folds out in 3 pieces to make a single bed. and we've just about got enough room over the battery box, and then enough room in lengthwise so that not only have we got the double bed in the back, but we also have the option of a single bed at the front, but also a couple of chairs, which will be quite nice. And then if we want to, we've got a fitting hole down there to put a little table in, if that's what we decide to do. The other thing that arrived is my support bar. This is a support bar for a shower door, specifically a glass one. But what I need it for, if I can just get inside the van. So where we've built the shower, we have this wall, which of course is pretty much unsupported apart from this here. But it does need to seal down against this edge. So this bar will fit across the top, running from here, all the way across. It'll provide us with a hanging bar if we want to hang up some clothes, but also what it'll do is bring those two sides in together so that we've got a seal. So that's the next job to get onto. At the moment, we've still got a little bit of work to do on the front end. Well, that dropped that. To finish off this. But as I say, I think once we've got rain coming in for the next week, so this is going to give me the chance to get in the garage and to build that box, and then we should have that finished off. And then it's going to be a case of flooring. Going to redo all the vinyl, take all this old vinyl up, and run some new down there, and then we can start on the back end there. I've got to do some reinforcement of some of the panels down there, where the bed sits, or the cushions sit. And yeah, we're getting closer. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. Sorry it's been a bit of a delay to get this video up, but we had a little trip to the Isle of Man to revisit some places we haven't seen for 30 odd years, and then finished up with some very bad colds. So hopefully the next one will be a bit sooner. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.